November 28th, 2017. I'm here at Queen Elizabeth II, Wildlands Provincial Park. I'm out for a 3-day backpacking trip. My goal is to get to Otter Lake tomorrow night and then hike back out to Victoria Falls behind me. It's a very powerful waterfall. So this is what the trail's become, about 40 minutes into it. It's a low-lying area with lots of grass and raspberry bushes. It's fairly hard to follow the trail. There's a marker there. It's either a well-used animal trail or they just picked up on it. But there's little paths that kind of go everywhere. This is a large marsh. A little shack at the end of there. And I can see tracks on there. I think that's beaver. Yeah, here's a little unnamed pond. The beaver huts out there. This is the campsite at Montgomery Lake, which is there. And then it overlooks this bog. I'd have to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. This being the fire pit. There's lots of room, flat spots up top for a tent. It's kind of the peak of the trail because it starts wrap around there, and I think I gotta make my way up the other side. So I just crossed the stream here, and the trail goes straight up there. So I'm supposed to cross this creek somewhere around here. Not really seeing a good spot. I might have to get wet feet and just cross where it's lower current. I'm halfway through the only spot where I could see that I could cross. I had to go down that little bit of a embankment and then shimmy across this fallen tree, and then I'm gonna have to get my feet wet and cross that little bit there. I think this is the only way across. There's a little bit of icicles on the branches, so not really looking forward to it at all. So this isn't gonna happen anymore. I didn't see it before, but that center part of the dam's washed out, and that's at least my waist deep, and it looks like a fairly strong current that I don't want to chance at, not with how cold the water is. So I wasn't able to find anywhere to cross this creek, so I'm gonna double back and take the southern loop. It's 1:20 now. It took me about an hour and a half to get here, so I'll see how far I get. There's a few campsites on the southern loop that I'll try to do. I'm back at the falls, Victoria Falls that is. I got a couple hours of sunlight left. I'm going to take a quick break and see if I can get to a campsite within that time range. Oh, there's icicles forming on the edges of these cliffs. It's getting close to dark now. I'm on the four-wheeler trail that goes around a pond. Pretty cool water flowing underneath the ice. This is a good indication of how frozen the ponds are around here. So I was on the ridge just across there before, so I had to backtrack all of that, and I've been on this trail for about an hour. I think I have maybe another hour to camp for the night on Otter Lake. Oh, the sun's finally poking through again, making for a beautiful view. So I made it to Otter Lake for the night. It's almost dark, so I haven't set up camp yet. I've just got on making water, and I'm gonna set up camp and probably just pick some twigs for the stick stove. Otter Lake's not a very big lake, and I had to break the ice just so I could get water. So, yeah, it's gonna be a quiet night. As I said, it's almost dark. Just get some food in me and probably get to bed. It's It's only 4:30 right now. Probably a half hour till sunset, and then it'll just be dark after that. So I don't really have a whole lot of time to gather firewood or anything else. See you in the morning. So I got the Bush Buddy with the Trangia stove, and I'm just doing this for my tent because right before sunset these really dark clouds blew over, so I'm expecting rain at any time, and I don't want to get all done up with everything. So what I got in there is dehydrated hamburger, peppers, and morels, and then I'm gonna add a sidekick to that once it's rehydrated. Here's the finished product. It's very good. Had a little bit of snow last night. It's just accumulated around the tent, but the ice has receded a bit. I got the Bush Buddy going this morning. I'm going to boil up some coffee and then toast a bagel for breakfast, and then I'll head out from here. Got the coffee done. I'm just toasting the bagel right on top of the Bush Buddy, and it's toasting pretty good. The sun's finally peeking out through the clouds. Makes Otter Lake look beautiful. It's a pretty gusty morning so far. Northeast wind. So this is a view of Otter Lake from the fire pit. Water access is straight ahead there. There's no real big tent pads, but there's just little ones every now and then. I was camped on the other side of those pine trees. This is the last campsite, and then there's another one further up that way, and then another one kind of on the trail. This is the view of Otter Lake from the second campsite. It's a little bit nicer, but the only place to put a tent is just up there. It's really rooty there. Yeah. To access the water is very swampy. There's no real good ledge to get any of the water. Notice there's a lot more cairns on this section of the trail heading towards Devil Lake. From Devil Lake to Loon Lake, there really wasn't many markers on the trees or on the ground. It was a lot more difficult to follow. So I've come up to this pond crossing here, and it kind of looks like wet feet. Crossing through there, so let's see how I do. I don't know, might be easier to go down low. Let's see what I do. So that wasn't too bad. I used 2 walking sticks and I was able to get across with remaining dry feet. But from here I can see there's a second tier to this beaver dam. That could be another place to cross too if this was out. I've been walking for just over an hour, and the sun's starting to poke through, and the landscape's turned into these open barrens. So the trail crosses this beaver pond here. The markers are just up there. I was able to get past this first part with dry feet. And there's a little outflow, and I believe it wraps around there, but I can't see any markers. Oh yeah, there's one. So the trail does go around here. It's kind of a horseshoe shape over top the beaver dam. So I was able to get across that whole section of beaver dams. There was 3 different dams, and all of them are well maintained by the beavers, so they stayed dry the entire way. And the trail's just up here now. This is just a little pond that I went around. The sun's come out, making it beautiful. You can see where the beavers cut this section of pond off from the rest of it. There's the dam there. and then significantly lower, and it's just all grown into a bog. So this is one of the bigger bodies of water. It's close to the campsite by Deep Gully. It's a big enough body of water that hasn't frozen yet. Oh, there's a beaver. Yeah, so it goes further out that way to the left. And there's a beaver again. And pretty much what you see here is the rest of it. But all these lakes or ponds, I've noticed, have just got little balmy islands everywhere. Here's another view of that lake I was just overlooking. I was straight across there on them birches before, but there's about an 8-foot beaver dam right there. They do a well job at maintaining them. And then it goes into this little channel. Yeah, I just crossed over that beaver dam down there. So this is the campsite near Deep Gully. It's almost taken me 3 hours to get here with a couple breaks. There's one fire pit there that doesn't really like it's been used a whole lot. And then there's more of a main one up here. With some leftover firewood as well. But as for all these sites, they don't look like they've been used in a long time. There's some firewood. I'm not sure where you put a tent pad, but there's lots of spots. It's a nice view out here though. So I believe this is Deep Gully. The trail goes down to my right and it crosses somewhere down there. So this is a view looking up Deep Gully. I'm on the beaver dam that crosses it. The trail continues to the right, but this is as far as I'm going for this trip. I'm going to head back to the campsites I saw earlier and then head out tomorrow morning. But it's a relatively easy beaver dam to cross. And that's the outflow. So this is it for day 2. I'm not sure what pond I'm camped on. It seems to be unnamed. But I made my way out to Deep Gully, checked that out, and then came back here. It was about 20 minutes out of my way. So I'm just made camp and about to get a fire going. But there's about a half hour of sunlight left, so I wanted to just check in. Tomorrow I got about 4 hours hike out, so maybe roughly 12 kilometers. There was a lot of beaver dams today to cross over, all of which are very crossable without getting wet feet. Today turned out into a beautiful day. It's clear skies right now, and then tomorrow it's supposed to start raining mid-morning at some point, and it's going to stay around 4 degrees. It's probably only 2 degrees right now, but with the sun it feels a lot warmer. The wind just died right down not too long ago. It's been pretty gusty all day, coming out of the northwest, but now it's settled down. It should start coming out of the north or southwest tomorrow morning, and that's going to bring in the rain. I'll show you around camp now. So this is camp for night 1. Just drying out my boots, the inside of them, just from sweat. I kind of got my stuff laid out everywhere. There's a fire pit. I'm just gonna get that going soon and cook on that. And then I got the tent down here. I've always found that it's kind of difficult finding a good camping pad. There's definitely no soil anywhere, so I've just been kind of using sticks and stones everywhere to hold everything up. I definitely got a lot of stones down, but I don't want it blown away in the middle of the night and having to run out and doing it. One thing I would note is about getting water. You can't get water far out unless you walk into it. So I've been getting a lot of organic debris in my jug, and I'm just using a chemical purifier. So been drinking a lot of organic matter. Not that that matters, but it might to some people. Anyways, have a good night. So I did a small modification on the fire pit. There's plants growing out of it, so it wasn't used in a while. I just made the chimney rock at the bottom and 2 rocks up each side so I can put the grill on it. And I'm just gonna get this thing nice and hot, maybe warm up a bit. And I'll get some water boiling soon. It's gonna be a beautiful sunset tonight. And over here, I might be able to pick out the moon a little bit. And then I got the fire going in the background. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. Without the sun or wind, you can see the ice creeping back in this little channel. Got a sweet little setup going on. Got the warming fire there. Nice little table with wine. And I got the Bush Buddy with Trangia going. I grabbed this water last night and it's very much frozen on the surface. I got the Trangia going this morning so I can get a quick start. This chunk of ice is frozen up completely overnight. The beaver dam's just down there, so it must be the most moving current. Here's the little beaver dam I was looking at earlier. And it flows over there. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here on this unnamed lake. I'm going to call it Balmy Lake because there's all those little islands out there and tufts of grass in the middle of it. It's going to be a beautiful day, or morning anyways, and then it's supposed to start raining at some point. It's going to be a beautiful sunrise as well. It's just starting to poke its way over there. So today I got about 4-hour hike out, maybe 12 kilometers or so. The terrain's pretty rough and there's a few beaver dams I gotta cross over, so they take a little bit longer. Everything froze up last night and the beaver was pretty much working steady all night long. Kept taking down trees and splashing. I think he was working on that dam down there. Anyways, talk to you later. Oh, it's a very beautiful sunrise out here. There's a good thick frost on everything. The tent's very frosted up. See the little frost there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have breakfast and hit the road. So I just started out and as forecasted, that sun's gone away and the clouds are pretty dark in the west. See how far I get before the rain starts. It's supposed to start at 10 and it's 9:30 now. The rocks are nice and dry. When they're wet, they're very slippery. This section of the trail looks really cool. Up and down, up and down. It's a mixture of sleet and rain right now. It's starting to make the rocks slippery. About another half hour I should be back at the trailhead. This is Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls. This concludes my 3-day trip here in Queen Elizabeth II Wildlands Provincial Park. It was a really good trip. The weather was great. It only started raining the last half hour, but I'm not soaked or anything yet. It's a little bit of snow, sleet, and rain mixture. This morning was cold but beautiful. Beautiful sunset tonight and beautiful sunrise. Yeah, it was a great trip. It's a pretty rugged trail. It's definitely rough in places, and you gotta keep an eye on the markers. But overall, it was an absolute amazing trip. Thanks for watching.